Everybody, thanks for watching. Now, before I get into this video, I want to discuss something first. Now, when you sign up for social media, sites like Facebook and YouTube, you have to understand that all these social media sites, Twitter, MySpace included, these sites do not fully show all of your subscribers and followers all of your content. So it doesn't matter how many subscribers that you have, how many how many friends you have. These social media companies, when you sign up, you agree to basically be under the control of them, so they can regulate and see who sees what you put out. So when you put out something, everybody's really not going to see it. And one of the reasons why they do that is because they advertise. So you got to think about it. If you remember MySpace back in the beginning, if you had 1 million friends, imagine the kind of advertising you can get out to 1 million people. So of course they regulate that. Remember, they stopped it before, and it's the reason why on Facebook you can only have, I believe, about 5,000 friends, because they want you to pay for ad space. They want you to pay because that's the only way you're going to get all of your friends to see what you put out. Now, depending on how much you interact with the person, depends on who sees what, and the geographical location as well. So the people who are closest to you will see more. The people who you interact with more will see your content more. People who you send messages to or like or comment or what have you, you'll see their stuff more than people who you don't have contact with, of course. So these people will be the majority of people who sees what you post and what you put out. Everybody won't see it, and I'm pretty sure some of you have ran into that issue before, where it has been days since you've seen something somebody posted. Now, again, they do this for money, for you to buy ad space. So the thing is, when you're trying to put something out, YouTube, for example, everybody knows that I sell DVDs and downloads on online, and I post on YouTube and on Facebook as well when I put something out. Now, I'm getting a lot of messages from people who have not seen any of these things. A lot of people, it's people who don't even know it's a Saturn Satan 4 out. So it's a lot of people who are not seeing the content. Again, the opportunity that you have to reach so many people when you have the subscribers, that some of these people have. Some people got millions, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So imagine if they're trying to sell something, the amount of people they could reach, the potential for sales that they have. Of course, these companies are not going to let you reach that potential. They're going to regulate it. They're going to hold back from showing people anything that you're trying to put out for sale. They're going to make you pay for ad space. And then you're not 100% guaranteed that people are going to see that ad. I mean, you pay money and they tell you this amount of people might see it, but you don't really know. You don't know exactly, Joe Blow from whatever country, whatever state is actually seeing your ad. You can't really tell it. They're sending you back some numbers. It is what it is. So one of the things I want to do to kind of combat that on my side, because what you're going to hear coming up soon is people trying to get that change, because it's kind of sort of wrong, but I understand that's how they make money. And you understand when you watch YouTube, you see the commercials and this is how they make money. And the thing is, when people subscribe to your channel, if somebody friend requests you because they have interest in what you talk about and what you put out, if somebody subscribe because they have interest in what you talk about when you put what you put out, then they have the right to be able to see everything that you put out. They should be able to see everything that you put out, and you should be able to show everybody who's interested in your work what you're putting out. But for them to regulate it and cut it off and keep people from seeing it, not just that, I get people who tell me that my links are malware or spam, which they're not. And, the links don't work in some cases. So, I apologize to a lot of you people who have this problem, even though, it's not my fault, really, it's social media. So the only thing I can do to combat this problem is to have you guys email me your email address so I can put you on my list for people who are, if you're not interested in buying the DVDs or anything like that, you don't have to do it. Those of you who have bought in the past already, please still do this. I have a lot of your emails already, but, just to show that you're still interested, please send me the emails. Because one, I want to know exactly how many people are actually interested versus what YouTube shows. Because one, it's weird that more people buy overseas than here in America. That's like a weird thing. And I thought I was signing up with that, but now I understand why what the issue is. So send me your email address for those who are interested to Merkabah at therealmerkabah.com. I'll put the link up so you can see that. Just send me an email address to let me know that you want to be added to this list to get emails and updates of upcoming trips and upcoming content and whatever is going on with the channel, because I can't really put my trust in social media to do it. And they're not going to let us reach everybody, especially the kind of content that, we put out, that I put out. The message is not getting to everybody. Everybody's not seeing it. Everybody's not getting it. And, it's a big reason behind that. But the only way I can combat that is to get people to actually email me. I'm not going to put you on no kind of mailing list or scam list or something like that. I'm not going to give you guys emails out to anybody else. But it's just so I can have a number. I can know who's actually buying and who's doing what, figure wise, so I can get this information out to more people. I know a lot of people do share the post that I put up, which is cool, but they regulate this stuff. I'm telling you, there's no way in the world I should have, so many people telling me that they don't even see Saturn Satan 4, they don't see the link, or they never seen it come up in their timeline. They subscribe to get alerts, but they don't get the alerts all the time. It's weird. So, it is what it is. And that's the thing when you sign up for social media. We don't have our own platform to make sure everybody who we want to get our content get it. We don't have a social media site, but I can understand. They got to make money. They got to do what they got to do, which, I do pay for advertising as well on Facebook, but YouTube is a little bit different. So it is what it is. I just wanted to get this out to let people know, for the people who have emailed me and sent me messages or wrote in the comment section about their issues and problems with the DVDs. Right now, it's 2 new DVDs I just put out. I put out Mystery School Volume 3, and I put out Part 2 of Understanding the Extraterrestrial Phenomena and the Mystery of Saturn. Those 2 are out now. And again, big issue. They're not going to show it to everybody. It just is what it is. If you see it when it comes up, it's good that you can see it. But again, if you're interested in the content and everything that's coming up, email me your email at Merkabah at therealmerkabah.com. Okay, end of that. Let's get into the video. Okay, so what you'll probably end up seeing later on is a debate between me and a pastor. If he's a man of his word, if he doesn't back down and he actually allows this debate to happen, then you'll probably see it. I'll put it on YouTube because there's a discussion that we had, and this is part of the discussion, what I'm going to be talking about in this video. But hopefully it happens and it takes place. It's going to be kind of like a online type thing. So, I'll bring it to you guys. You'll see it if it does take place. But I think this guy is going to chicken out. We'll see. Hopefully not. The question is, one, with religion. And you guys understand how I always drill on religion and how I do get into religion a lot. But the thing is, one, how can a religious person allow themselves to survive, to really be true to their religion in another people's culture, in another people's civilization? So the thing is, if you are coming from the Muslim world over to any of these countries that are, Christian or, atheists or what have you, you can't truly live the way your religion requires you to live in another people's country, in another people's community or civilization. It's not possible. So why would you want to? And the thing is, again, as I talk about, one, a lot of people don't understand how their consciousness is basically trying to fight against religion, these organized religions, which is why people do not follow them. Everybody break them every second of every day. Because one, your consciousness is not going to allow you to truly follow these religions because, it knows it's bullshit, especially with Christianity. But you get a person in Islam who is born into the religion and everything they know is the religion, and their culture supports the religion 100%. So, in the Arab world, in the Muslim world, I should say, everything in that culture supports the religion. So if you go out and you get caught stealing, or if you get caught going against the religion, they beat you on the street, they cut your fingers and hands off on the street. Everybody sees this. We walk outside every day and you could be around Christians in America who go against the Bible every single day, every single second. The fact that they are in that city, they're going against the Bible. So the thing is, how can you as a religious person, no matter Christian or Muslim, actually truly be true to your religion and, in a civilization that doesn't really follow your religion? Now, this is what Christians are going to say. Muslims probably as well. They're going to say, well, this is why Jesus died for our sins, because he knew that we're going to have to live in a world like this to sin, and that we would need to repent for the sins that we have to be subjected to. Sounds all well and good. Well, 1 John 2:15 says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. James 4:4 says, ye adulterers and adulteress, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. And again, here you are on the World Wide Web, exposing yourself to sin and lust. So you can't say, one, that Jesus died for our sins so we can sin and keep repenting and repenting. You got Hebrews 10:26 says, those who go on sinning willfully after receiving knowledge of the truth, meaning that if you sin knowing it's a sin, the sacrifice for sins no longer remains. You can't keep sinning and repenting. First of all, one, that's wrong anyway. Don't you think if you know something is wrong and you do it anyway, how are you going to be forgiven for that? How can you expect to be forgiven for that? That if you shoot somebody in the head and say, oh, I didn't know that was wrong, and you do it again, you're not supposed to get a pass. It don't work that way. But people got this notion that you can just keep sinning and keep doing evil shit and sinning and sinning and sinning and keep getting forgiven. What's the whole purpose? What's the point of that? That's sick. That's crazy. It doesn't fit with reality. So, one, you can't run to the Bible and say, well, Jesus died for our sins, so we got to live in this sinful city or this sinful civilization or with these sinful people because, Jesus died, when the Bible was telling you that you're not supposed to be friends with the world. You're not supposed to be in the world. It's telling you to get out of there. But you choose to stay there, so you can't use that excuse. So, the big question, you can't really live in a civilization with people who are not in your religion. It doesn't work. How are you going to go to work and work closely with people who basically indulge in sin and lust continuously and expose you to it continuously? Sin corrupts, supposedly. It's the truth. You get around a bunch of bad stuff, it could possibly corrupt you. People can have influence on you. So it wouldn't be good for you to be around, such things. So with the Islamic religion, a religion that's really strict, and, any kind of religion that's cutting off hands and, stoning people and throwing acid in females' faces is something that you ought to take seriously. So when you have, because one of the big problems that's going on now is you have a lot of refugees that's going into places like Sweden, into, I think Sweden is probably one of the few countries besides America that's actually letting refugees in, if America's still letting them in. But you got what's going on in Sweden right now. You have a lot of rapes. It's going up because you have these Arab men who come to a country where women dress freely. And they're not used to seeing the women look the way they look and dress the way they dress, and they can't handle it. So you have rapes that has been going up. So, it's because you can't live in a society with people that don't fit your religion. It just can't be done. Let's look at some more. Psalms 101:3. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not stick to me. Matthew 5:28. But I say to you that whoever looks on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. Romans 8:5 says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit." 1 Corinthians 6:18 says, "Flee fornication. Every sin that a man does is without the body, but he that commits fornication sins against his own body." Galatians 5:16, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Matthew 5:29 says, "If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell." Now, when you have so many religious people that supposedly believe so deeply in the Bible, when you read these verses, how could you live in a society that's causing you to sin continuously, to lust continuously? I mean, if you have a social media page, even Instagram, you can't scroll up and down any one of those without seeing lustful, sinful things. You cannot live in a society that we live in. You can't live in this world, period. So what people have to realize, one, so many religious people, is that you have a choice to make. You have a choice to follow the Bible and follow what it says is right before God and live your life that way. If you're not doing that, then how are you any different from a person who doesn't believe in the book? You're not any different. You're sinning. You just don't want to admit it. You're clueless of exactly what you're doing because you don't understand the Bible. You're not reading it, and you interpreting the Bible the way you want to interpret it. Plain and simple. So when the Bible was clear about what you're doing, if you want to just say Hebrews 10:26, the whole thing about knowing about sin or whatever like that, whatever you want to apply to that verse, we can all agree on this. Sin is bad. Sin you're not supposed to be doing. Lustful things you're not supposed to be doing. Are you doing those things every single day? Yes. And nobody who's watching this can sit here and say that they are not, because you are. You're sinning by being here watching me anyway. So it is what it is. You can't live your life that way. You need to understand, one, what your subconscious mind is trying to tell you to do. It's not going to allow your body to follow this book because it knows it's bullshit. So now with the Quran, you have verses like Quran 4:76, "Those who believe fight in the cause of Allah." You have in Quran 3:151 when it's talking about basically casting terror into the disbelievers. And it's a lot of verses when you read in the Quran. One of the things is with the Quran, it's a lot of misconceptions, or a lot of people not reading completely what the Quran says. Because when you keep reading in a lot of these verses, it kind of explains what it's saying, and it makes up for it somehow, some way, with Allah either stopping them from doing something they're not supposed to do or stopping them from sinning. And a lot of people don't get that far. So usually when they read like casting terror, people just automatically think, Islam terror. And this is what it was designed to do. You have, again, I explained this before, what you have with the Quran is people telling you that it's a holy, peaceful book. And this is the case. It's a peaceful book when you really get into a lot of stuff. It's a lot of things you can take out of context and say that it's a violent book and this and that. This is exactly what the so-called terrorists are doing. They're doing that on purpose because it causes conflict with the religion. It causes conflict. It's supposed to do it. That's what it's supposed to do. It's the same thing with the Bible. But with the Quran, usually what you find is anybody who really studies it, it's explained. Just keep reading the book. It explains a lot of the stuff. You just keep going. They do stuff for a reason. Stuff is done for a reason. Which is why, again, when we look and we pay attention, there has been more terrorist attacks really from white men in America than from actual fucking Muslims. So let's just keep it real on that. The thing is, when you have people who have this religion and taking it out of context and doing things based on the Quran and their belief of the Quran, and you have the news media blasting it all over TV, and we see the depictions that we see of Islam, of course, we're going to think the way we think. One of the problems is also, willful ignorance. People too lazy to look stuff up. All you got to do is, if you feel a certain way about something, you really want to know the truth, look it up, research it. So you get people who say, oh, this dude is a devil worshiper. He works for Satan. He got that Illuminati stuff on his desk. And it's like, what are you talking about? What's Illuminati? And then all you have to do is look this stuff up. Look up the headdress. Google it. Why jet neck bet? See what they represent. And then it's like, okay, so look how old it is. It predates your religion. It predates any mention of a Satan. So which came first? Who copied off of what? And, it's willful ignorance. And a lot of people set in their ways, they stuck in their ways. They don't want to do the research or do the necessary work to ascertain the truth. They want to just say what they got to say. And a lot of people think, they hop on YouTube with no profile picture, say what they want to say out their mouth for whatever reason, try to get away with whatever they want to get away with, whatever they want to say. And at the end of the day, proof is proof. And if you got proof, then there's no debate. It's just somebody who talking a bunch of crap, who about to get, their ass handed to them with facts and proof. So, again, a lot of people who saw the video of the guy who tried to refute my video, you got a lot of church people who saw that video now, watched it. And, some people actually called this guy an idiot who was from the church, or he don't know what he's talking about. He representing the Bible wrong. He don't represent the Bible for all of us. And I could do a better job debating the Bible against you, against me. So, this is where this whole thing stems from with this pastor. I'm not going to say his name, whatever like that, but we'll see. He got a little following on YouTube, whatever like that. He got a following on Facebook, and he thinks he can put me in my place as it pertains to the Bible. But from the little dialogue that we did have, he done. He screwed. We already know this. People who actually watch the videos, he can't stand up. Because again, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to his faith versus my facts. He not prepared for that. Not just that. One, he don't want to allow his congregation to see him get destroyed online, basically. Because when it come out, if we had a debate and people see what I'm talking about, there's no way they're going to be able to not listen to it and not really agree with it, and he might lose his money that he got coming into the church every Sunday. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we keep it 100% and fight for the Lord, fight for God, so to speak. But one of the topics of debate was going to be what we discussed. One is being able to practice Christianity in truth in our current civilization, which to me is impossible. You can't do it. In the Arab world, in the Muslim world, they had strict laws that was enforced by the people as well. It was the people that stone you in the street in front of everybody. This is how it went down with these religions. They didn't play that. They was really raised into these beliefs. So the whole community, was involved when something went down, when you went against that Quran. So it's not like that here. And that right there should tell you, one, that you're living in a society where you can't truly be a Christian because it's not being enforced. Who is enforcing Christianity? Nobody. Who is enforcing it? Who is there to punish you when you do something wrong against the Bible? Nobody. You're not punishing yourself. So you have Christians going out with Christians to sin and then go to church on Sunday. So, tell me, is the world not corrupting them, or do they understand what's going on in the world and they just don't care? They like being corrupted. And after you read the verses that I just read, you understand if you suppose to not to walk in spirit, then you walk in spirit. You don't consort with things that have to deal with lust. And this is what you are all doing. It's just that simple. So now again, one of the questions that I get is, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why did I start putting out the videos and everything like that? And I explained that before, but a lot of people always say it like, the Bible only talks about good things, peaches and cream and candy and lollipops and roses. Nothing is bad in the Bible, which we already went through this before. I proved that. Of course, there's a bunch of bad stuff in the Bible. God kills millions of people in the Bible, plain and simple. God is responsible for some sick things that go on in the Bible. So is some of your prophets like Moses. So we can't say the Bible is all good. So people come at me with that. Well, the Bible is good. It's only trying to tell people to do good and, live a good life in a good way and treat people good. Well, clearly that's not the case. And the thing is, I actually been challenged as far as being, I guess, a good black slave, black person, I'm a coon for going against the Bible. How is that possible when we got this book in slavery? And this is the thing that I try to express to people when I go against the Bible. It's not just because, one, I can prove what it is and what it's talking about, and that it's not real, it's not true, not just because of that, but one of the main reasons is we got it during slavery. We got the book while we was enslaved by Europeans, and we got it from Europeans. And when you trace back the history of this book, one, it's not rock solid. None of the history, real proven history, backs up the book. And then on top of that, when you have the book talking about we cursed, and when you have the book clearly talking about how, we had our civilizations taken from us by people who are supposed to be special and chosen, where's these people? And then you don't see no proof to back that up. It's like, well, wait a minute, we're being tricked. If they loved us so much, why enslave us? If they were trying to help us and get us to God, why didn't they teach us about the Bible, teach us about God? We learned their religion, we learned their language, and just send us on our way. And then everything been peace after that. None of this racism, none of this stuff that's going on, none of this oppression. What's up with that? And we're supposed to look at all this stuff and just say the Bible is good and true, and we have absolutely nothing to prove that. What experience can you point to me that you can prove where the Bible changed your life or the life of anybody? Specifically, anybody. The Bible, specifically only the Bible, something, how does that work? It's not the Bible, it's you. If your life changed because you read the book, and you want to give credit to the book for you making a decision to change your life, then okay, you can say that. But that's totally different from the book being true. You can say, well, I read this book, and it gave me the inspiration to want to go and change my life. That's fine. If the book is good to you for that reason, that's cool. But you still can't say that it's true, that everything in it is real, because you chose to do something good with your life. Doesn't make the book correct and true. And again, I'm not trying to spoil nobody's hope or take your hope away from you or whatever hope you have in this book. I'm pointing out the truth to my people who the book has greatly affected and has continuously let down, has not lived up to any of the promises. So we got to know the truth. Instead of us putting so much faith in this book, we need to put the faith in ourselves, in each other, in our history. Is what we need to look into to see, what's going on. And the thing is, how can we come to a country, or we was already in this country, but how can we basically, blend with this country as Christians, as black Christians, when you look at the history this country has against us? So how can we take this book that white people also take and come together with this religion where everybody's supposed to be equal, everybody's supposed to be cool, everybody's supposed to be good and not doing a bunch of stuff or whatever like that. And this is not what we're seeing from the society. It's not what we're seeing. So obviously the book is wrong. Clearly, it's not living up to its promises. And the reason why I talk against it is not really to talk against it, but to teach more about it. Because the book is the key to you understanding the truth. The book is trying to tell you the truth, but if you don't read it or study it, you're not going to figure it out. So it's not about me trying to, spoil somebody's hope. The reason why I do it is because it's more to the story, and the way the book has been taught to us was taught to us this way so that we don't get the true meaning. And as you can see, what I've been putting out has been to give you the true meaning of the book, and I've done that. And that video is called That's Game, the Bible and Christianity Finally Explained. If you don't want to sit through the 6 hours, then you're not going to get the answers you're looking for. But the people who have will tell you it's worth the 6 hours, because you're going to get the answers you're looking for from the book. And you're going to understand clearly more what the book is talking about when you watch the video, or when you watch other videos that I have, when you watch, the content that I put out. I haven't not given you bullshit. I've given you proof. I've backed it up with sources. And it makes sense. Way more sense than the Bible does on the surface. So now most of these things I have discussed in previous videos, but the thing remains about us being able to live, or religious people being able to live in our society. And society that's really starting to get more and more full of atheists and people who question religion, but it has always been full of people who don't follow the religion, people who just say they do, people who go to church and act like they do. This has always been here. So again, when they passed the law allowing gay marriage, the same, government that makes you put your hand on the Bible, because our laws are in the Bible, come from the Bible. So it's telling you, how can you not look at that and say, well, wait a minute, well, how the hell can we allow this to be legal? I mean, you got so many preachers and pastors all online talking about gay people, homosexuals in the church and being upset about it, and then you have your government pass this law allowing, gay marriage to be legal, what have you. How can you not look at this and say, well, something is suspect, something is wrong? Then you have the same government that gives churches 501c3 tax exempt status, that allows you to basically not pay taxes in order for you to preach. They want you to preach. They want you to build churches and get the word out. How can you not put that connections together that they're tied into the book somehow, that they benefit from you, being religious and, trying to follow this book, because when you try to follow it, all you do is build conflict within yourself, because you're fighting against yourself, because you have your subconscious that's not going to allow you to act out this book and truly follow it. So now you got guilt problems. You go to church putting, money in a collection plate because you feel guilty. But everything that society is showing you is that there is antichrist. One, it's against the religion. It's not following the religion. You're working for companies and corporations that go completely against the religion. So again, how can you truly follow the religion in this society? You have to live in a society that's completely geared towards your religion. And that's the only way it's going to work, as if it's enforced 100% and it's drilled into your head from birth for you to follow this religion. Living in this society, living under this system, you can't truly follow your religion. So that's just the bottom line. But, I wanted to thank you guys again, as always, for taking the time to watch. More videos to come. And as I explained in the beginning of the video, it is what it is. So, like I said, those of you who are interested, and even if you have purchased before, please send me your email to Merkabah at therealmerkabah.com. Any problems that you had in the past trying to order, please let me know so we can figure out what's going on with the situation. Is they blocking me or what have you? It's just there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. Too many people. And I can't read all the messages that people, they could just see error, problem, link, or, the messages from people who were saying they didn't even know I had all these videos out or DVDs out. It's crazy. So again, email me, Merkabah at therealmerkabah.com. Thank you guys for watching. See you next video.